Hi friends, a very warm welcome. I hope you're doing good. I'm back with my next jQuery tutorial. It's the tutorial number 7. In the last tutorial, we learned about jQuery traversing. This time around, we will throw some light on jQuery AJAX. Let's see what topics we will cover this time. What is AJAX? How to use AJAX with jQuery? jQuery load method, jQuery get post methods, jQuery AJAX method. What is AJAX? AJAX is an acronym for Asynchronous JavaScript and XML. AJAX enables us to send and receive data asynchronously without reloading the web page. AJAX is used not only by many well-known IT companies like Gmail, Google Maps, YouTube, Facebook, but by almost every company nowadays. AJAX using jQuery. jQuery offers many methods that enable us to use AJAX in an effective manner. You can request text, HTML, XML, or JSON from a remote server using both HTTP GET and HTTP POST, and you can load the external data directly into the selected HTML elements of your web page. Let's look at jQuery load method. The load method loads data from a server and puts the returned data into the selected element. The first parameter, that's the URL, it's a required parameter. It is where you want to load data from. The second parameter is data. It's an optional parameter. It specifies a set of query string key value pairs to send along with the request. The third parameter is the callback parameter. It is an optional parameter. It is the name of the function to be executed after the load method is completed. Now let us see how we use it in our code. Here's my code. I have two headings and then a div and a few buttons. Let me show you how my page looks in the browser. I refresh it. This is how my page looks. I have 3 buttons for different purposes. Now let's look at the load method. On the click of the button having ID load button, that's this button here, I'll use this button to load data directly into div. I will load data, that's the content in this file, jQuery load test.txt, into the div tag. That is, the content of this text file would replace this content here, and it will happen when I'll click this button. On the click of this button, I select the div, I load it with the content of the text file. The first parameter has to be the URL of the text file that you want to load the data from. The second parameter is the function, and it has some parameters. The first is the response that we get. The second is the status of the call, the status of the AJAX call, and the third is the XML HTTP request object. Based on the status of my call, I show different alerts. If the status of my call is success, I show an alert saying external content loaded successfully. If the status is error, I show an alert that specifies the status and the error that occurred. Now let's see how it works. I go to my browser, I refresh it. Now when I click this load dev button, you'll see that this content will change. It's the content of this div, and it would change. and an alert would be shown accordingly. I click it. What I see is that the content of my div changes completely, and the message that's shown in the alert is external content loaded successfully. That's the message uh, I I wanted to show if uh, my my data loaded successfully, and that's exactly what happened. Let's say I replace this text file name with an incorrect name. Now jQuery load test 1 doesn't exist. No file exists with this name. So when I will click uh, the button now, I should be shown the error in the status text. I save my file, I go to the browser, I refresh my browser. Now when I click it, what I'm shown is that a 404 not found error occurred. That is, no file exists with the name I requested, and the content of my div did not change. So the load method is really useful. The next jQuery method to discuss is the get method. The get jQuery method requests data from the server with an HTTP GET request. It has two parameters. The first one is the URL. It's the required parameter. It is the URL you want to request. The second is the callback parameter. It is an optional parameter. It is the name of the function to be executed if the request is successful. Now let's see how the get method works in code. I replace my load method with get method, and we do not need any selector for it, so I remove this div. I also replace the load button with the get button. So on the click of the get button, I need to get some data from this file. I'll get the data from text file and show that data in an alert. Let's see how we do it. The first parameter has to be the URL of the text file, and the second parameter has to be the function with two parameters. First one is the data, the second is status. So here, if the status is success, I want to show the data, and if an error occurs, I need to show a message saying unsuccessful. I save it, go to my browser, I refresh it. When I'll click this get external data button, what I'll see is that the data from the text file will be shown in the alert. Here you go. That text file has this data, and it is shown in an alert. Let's say I change the name here, and it's an invalid file name, a file that does not exist. So it should show unsuccessful alert. Let's see, I save it, go to my browser, I refresh it. I click the get external data, click it again, nothing happens. So that's the drawback of the get jQuery method. This issue will be addressed by another jQuery AJAX method. It's the AJAX method, and we'll discuss AJAX method later in this tutorial. Now let's move to the next method, and the next method is the post method. The post method requests data from the server with an HTTP post request. It has three parameters. The first is the URL, a required parameter. It is the URL you want to request. The second is the data, again an optional parameter. It specifies some data to send along with the request. The third is the callback function, and it is an optional parameter. It is the name of the function to be executed if the request is successful. See how we use it in our code. I replace the get button with the post button. Copy it, paste it here, and on the click of the post button, I want to post some data to a server-side application. In my case, I am using an MVC application. Here's my application. So I'll be posting the data to this method. Now this method will receive the data I post, and if the name is TechGeeks and the country is India, it will return this message: name TechGeek and country India. But if I do not receive data matching these two texts, it will send back incorrect data received. Let's see how I use it. I copy the URL, paste it here. The first parameter has to be the URL of the server-side application you want to post data to. Here I have to give the complete URL. I copy it. Home. Paste. The second parameter is the data we want to post. So, let's see. The first is name. Let's say we give this name. And the second is country. That's India. And the third parameter is the function with parameters data and status. Now this data is the data returned by the MVC application. Let's save it. Now I will make sure my application is running. I run my application. I refresh my page, and when I hit post data, when I hit the post data button, what I see that the alert shows name Technique and country India. That is the message or the text returned by the application, server-side application. See, it's here, name Technique and country India. Now if I change the data here, say I change it to Tex Geeks, and I save it, and I refresh the browser and click it again. Oh, my application session has timed out. I need to run it again. Now when I click it, what I see is incorrect data received. Now that is because my name, the name I sent did not match Techniques, so it returned incorrect data received. So that's how post method is useful. You can send data in any format. I am sending data in JSON format here. Now let's look at the next jQuery method. It's the AJAX method. The AJAX jQuery method is used when some desired action cannot be obtained with other jQuery AJAX methods discussed before. For example, we want to specify what should happen in case an AJAX call fails. Let's see how AJAX method is useful. As you saw earlier, while using get method, it wouldn't show an alert showing unsuccessful when an error occurred. We will fix this issue with the help of AJAX method. Let's replace get with AJAX. Now, in the second parameter, I'll add two functions, one for success and one for error. Let's remove this. Here I'm gonna add a success function and one for error. Here I will also receive data. I will show this data in an alert, and in the error function I will show an alert that would show unsuccessful. Here I save it. Now I go to my browser. I refresh it. And when I click it, click this button. What I get is unsuccessful. I got this alert because the name of my file is incorrect. No such file exists, so it shows unsuccessful. Now suppose specify the correct file name that exists when I save it. Go to my browser, I refresh it, and now when I click it, I can see the content of the text file here. So this is how the AJAX method is helpful. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please subscribe, like and comment. Practice more and enjoy. Thank you.